I'm just gonna go out and say it. I'm so sick and tired of the tactics that are being used in the health and fitness industries. Have you noticed how fat shaming and body shaming they are? I mean, why is shame and guilt even associated with why we should exercise or what foods we should eat? You're probably confused looking at me thinking, what's this girl even saying? She's in her Adidas kicks, in her Lululemon outfit, so she must be a trainer, right? Well, yes, I am a trainer, I'm an instructor. But I'm up here speaking on behalf of those that don't have the voice to talk about an issue that has affected me personally. Not a day goes by where I'm not flooded by body shaming tactics, whether it's on TV or social media. Like for instance, hey guys, try this 3-day juice cleanse so that you can lose those 5 pounds that you gained over break. Or how about, hey, you should come and sign up for my class tomorrow because I know that you're out there brunching on Sunday and you're probably going to feel guilty about everything that you ate. Everything that's around us and being told to us makes us feel bad about our bodies and what we're eating. And sadly, most of us fall into this trap because we now seem to correlate our worth and our value to our weight, shape, and size. Think about it. How many of you woke up this morning, looked at yourself in the mirror, and nitpicked on something about your physical appearance? These are behaviors that are taught. This whole concept of body shaming that is used in the health and fitness industry isn't working. Surely they're going to attest to the fact that it's all in good faith. There's this big bad obesity epidemic on the rise, and we need to do something so that people can exercise and eat healthier. Yes, that's right, but do we have to do it in such a negative way? I'm here to call BS on that, because these tactics are not working. In fact, they're harming people physically and emotionally, and I was one of them. We need to change the dialogue. It's sad to think how young I was when I started to feel insecure about my own body. As a kid, I was active and food was never an issue for me. The random TV commercial about the latest fad diet, or perhaps my friends talking in the locker room about who was more popular because they were more skinny, sometimes that got to me. But it wasn't until I was 15 years old when I walked into my first cycling class that my insecurities really got out of hand, ironically. I remember walking in and being so struck by my instructor. She was this super fit chick with abs like I'd never seen before. But during class, what drew me most to her was her confidence. I wanted a piece of that. So I remember after class, I walked up to her and I was like, hey, how are you so confident? Like, what's your secret? I remember she looked me straight in the face, scanned me up and down, and she said, if you want to be as confident as me, you have to put in the hard work. Meaning, you need to eliminate all of those bad foods out of your diet, you need to work out a little extra hard like me, and you should probably lose some weight. Now, mind you, I was a little confused at the time because I probably weighed around 115 pounds, and as you can tell, I'm pretty short. Now, I wasn't super thin, but I also wasn't overweight. But hey, if this fitness professional was telling me that the secret to confidence and happiness was losing weight, then I'd go with it. Fast forward a year later, I was 30 pounds lighter, so you can do the math. I was a workout fanatic, and I had gained a full-blown eating disorder. Working out less than 2 hours a day was inexcusable. Carbs were my enemy. And getting liposuction to reduce my love handles had become my new normal. Yeah, you did hear that right. I somehow convinced my parents to let me get liposuction because that was going to be the end to all of my body frustrations. My whole life centered around this idea of losing weight and getting that perfect body. So much so that after high school, I decided to pursue a degree in exercise science. Deep down, I knew that I had an obsession and that I had a problem, and I wanted to educate myself properly. I thought maybe if I learned about this, then I can get rid of this issue. After 4 years at an awesome university, I learned a ton about nutrition and physiology and sports science. But for someone like me who was told at a really young age that being thin meant being happy, the biggest takeaway from my education was that my body mass index was too high. I was above average with my fat percentage, and that my body was still not good enough and that it needed to change. That was devastating. So after college, I decided I'll just go into the fitness industry. I'll become an instructor, because what better way to get the perfect body than to be forced to do it? So I became an instructor, and I entered this world where everyone's purpose was about how many crunches do I need to do to get that perfect six-pack, or how many miles do I need to run so that I can burn off that slice of chocolate cake. Basically, in a nutshell, let's make people feel bad about how they look and what they eat so that we can be more successful, we can get more clients, and we can fill up more classes. I remember falling into such a deep hole personally and professionally, because those body-shaming tactics and those comments affected me personally. I was relentlessly chasing this idea that having the perfect body would make me confident. But then again, I was also a fitness instructor. So I was teaching more classes, taking more classes, and if I ate that slice of pizza, God forbid, I made sure to punish myself physically, emotionally, and I even had to post it on my social media to let my clients know that I had made a mistake and that my diet would start tomorrow. However, in these moments that felt so dark, I noticed that there were small glimmers of hope. Because whenever I would teach my classes, I was able to shut the door literally to all of the noise and the negativity that was going on not just in my head, but all around me. I noticed this shift in my well-being when I wasn't thinking about food or calories, and when I was thinking about exercise as something that was enjoyable, celebrating my body as it is. I felt happier, I felt more at peace. So I wanted my riders to feel the same thing that I was feeling. I decided to shift the norm a little bit from what the typical fitness instructor does. Instead of preaching calories and fat burning and eating healthy, I was going to start to preach confidence in my classes. Instead of telling my riders before class that we were here to burn off all the calories that we ate from the night before, or that you should work out a little extra hard and turn that knob up so that you can enjoy more food later, I was telling them and reminding them that they should feel good about themselves just as they were right in that moment. And guess what happened? People started to notice, and I think they started to like that. Because all of a sudden, my classes were getting sold out. And then I was voted as a top trainer to follow in Miami by big names in the industry. Clearly, this is a topic that people wanted to hear about. When I thought that I had this whole thing figured out, my confidence was coming back, suddenly my whole world came crashing down. I stumbled upon a comment that a colleague had said about me, and I quote, "If this girl takes her shirt off again during class, I think I'm going to throw up." Just a side note, I was wearing a sports bra. On top of that, I was taken to the side and I was told that I should try harder to look like a fitness professional. So at the time I was weighing about 135 pounds, I had put on some weight. I was a little curvy and I was muscular. I thought I was fine. But again, my body just wasn't good enough. I just want to take the time to acknowledge that those comments were directed at me, somebody who's in the fitness industry. Imagine what those comments can do to somebody that isn't. That's when I really hit rock bottom. My depression and my anxiety got so out of control, and so did my eating disorder. I remember starving myself until I taught class at night. Then after class, I would come home, cry, eat everything that was in the fridge in my pantry, then go to the bathroom, throw it up, go to sleep, and do the same thing again. It was such a vicious cycle. I can stand here all day and complain about those comments and how they affected me. I can tell you how awful it is to deal with an eating disorder. I can stand here and talk to you for hours about the astounding statistics having to do with eating disorders and body dysmorphia. Every 62 minutes, somebody dies as a direct result from an eating disorder. 1 in 50 people suffer with body dysmorphia. That means that at least 3 people tonight in this audience can't stand to look at themselves in the mirror. And what's worse is that these statistics are on the rise. I wonder why. I could literally go on and on and on, but I'd rather spend the rest of my time here telling you how it changed for me and how it has to change for everybody else. Because if this doesn't apply to you, this for sure applies to somebody that you know. So I woke up one day, I was about to go teach class, and I decided, enough is enough. I'm so tired of feeling this way. I looked at myself in the mirror and I said, from now on, I will not let any negativity or stress or anxiety infiltrate my thoughts. Shame and guilt will no longer be a part of my life. Being shameless is going to be my new identity. And then it became my movement. I will try my best to always eat mindfully, but I'll also eat whatever I want, whenever I want, and with no remorse. I'll work out because I want to celebrate my body, not because I want to punish it. And if I don't feel like working out one day, that's okay. No one's going to make me feel bad about that. When I have a bad body day, which I still have them, it's normal, I'm human, we're human, I'll acknowledge my feelings and my thoughts, I'll push them to the side, and then I'll just move on. But most importantly, I'm going to make an effort to love my body exactly as it is right now. And no one else's comments is going to make me feel any differently. Trust me, I know it's a lot easier said than done. Loving your body is such a hard task, especially when you're told constantly that you need to change it. But my life transformed completely. As I hopped on this shameless train, I had to post everything on my social media, Instagram, Facebook, not just to hold myself accountable, but because I wanted to inspire other people to start feeling good about themselves. And again, people took notice of this, because the next thing I know, I was chosen as one of America's most inspiring trainers by Reebok and Well and Good. That was pretty cool. Then I'm being asked to come speak at health and wellness events about body positivity. And then Lululemon asked me to be their ambassador. It was really fun stuff. And if I knew that being body positive would be that much fun, I would have chosen to do it a long time ago. But the craziest thing that happened to me was that in just a few short months, I somehow ended up losing 10 pounds, effortlessly. I have no idea how, I have no idea why. I was working out less than before, and I was eating all of the foods, you name it. Chocolate, pizza, tacos, McDonald's, everything. But that's when it hit me like a ton of bricks. When my outlook changed, my body changed. Now don't get me wrong, I'm not up here saying that I was happier because I lost that weight. I wasn't. But I realized that when I stopped being unhappy with myself and I stopped criticizing myself, my body took notice, because your body hears everything that your mind says. There's this thing called the flight or fight response. When we're put in stressful situations, our bodies respond by creating physiological and hormonal changes to react to that threat. Over time, the repeated activation of this response causes things like clogged arteries, high blood pressure, anxiety, depression, you name it. The thing is, our bodies can't differentiate what kind of stressors we're reacting to. The same exact thing happens to us if we're running away from a tiger that's about to attack us, or if we're sitting in front of a bowl of pasta saying, oh my God, this is gonna make me so fat. Again, I just want you to think about the amount of times a day that you stress out about food and exercise. The amount of times a day that you're stressed about something having to do with your physical appearance. Think about the amount of times that your stress response gets activated on a daily basis. These body shaming tactics that the health and fitness industry is using is killing us. So I needed to do something about this. I knew firsthand how detrimental these comments could be. And I experienced that myself, and I knew it was happening around me too. So I decided to become the first body positive instructor here in Miami. I made an effort little by little to make my fitness environment a positive one, where all body types were celebrated and where food and negative body talk was discouraged. Clients and followers who once felt intimidated about working out were stepping out of their comfort zones, trying out new workouts, and loving it because of their newfound shameless confidence. I had people reaching out to me from overseas on Instagram telling me that they had finally made peace with food because of what I was doing. And the icing on the cake for me was hearing that my clients were loving working out again because it wasn't a punishment anymore. And then one day, suddenly and ironically, I had somebody come up to me after my class and she asked me, "Steph, what's your secret? Like, you're always so confident all the time and happy." That's when everything came flashing back to me. The years of strict dieting, throwing up, the liposuction, the crying, all of it. But I looked at her and I said to her, the key to my happiness and my confidence is that I'm kind to my body and now it's kind to me. Unfortunately, the rates of depression having to do with eating disorders and body image are skyrocketing. Right now, 30 million people in the US are suffering from eating disorders. And ironically, the obesity epidemic is still on the rise. So what they're doing, what's happening, just isn't working at all. If we come together and make more of an effort to change the dialogue, to make it more body positive, to take shame and guilt out of the equation, I know for sure that we will see positive progress, not just in this industry, but just all around. Thank you.